Right guys, good morning. Welcome back to another video. As you would have seen from the title and thumbnail, yes, we do have the 5S here on demo at the moment, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But just been doing the morning routine work here, and I have a loose tine on the shear grab, which I need to tighten up, and I can't remember, I think it's a 40mm nut. I'm going to find the right socket to go and tighten it up. Somewhere in this box is the right socket. I know I need that one, that one. Oh, I can't remember now. Ooh. We'll take the socket over and see if it fits first. Nope. Right, turns out it wasn't a 40mm socket, it was something else. I think it was a 1 7/16", whatever that is. But I've actually managed to tighten up a long way. That nut did have a gap between the nut and the thread, so pulled it right in. The only thing is, he's sticking up a bit, that one. But he's not actually off of this grab, he's off our spare grab, which we don't really use because it's not very good. That one broke the first time we used it this year. You can see there's a bit of a mismatch of tines, so we've got big ones on the end, 2 big ones in the middle, another big one on the end, and then we had to steal that one off the other grab, we had to steal that one off the other grab, and then these ones have been replaced over the years. I think that's the last original one. But yeah, this all-but grab is brilliant. I love it. Cuts really well, leaves a really clean face. It's just starting to show its age. Shear grabs do an awful lot of work, don't they, in the silage pits. We had to replace, was it this ram or the other end? I think it was this end. The seal started leaking in this ram last year, so we took it off and sent it off to be repaired. And turns out we had to have a whole new piston and everything in there. It cost an awful lot of money. The middle one is on its way out. That is starting to weep oil now as well, which is obviously not very good. So we're just looking at seeing if we can do a deal with a local dealer here to change the grab. It's not cheap to change that middle ram, and once you've had the 2 done there, this one will be the next weakest one, and that'll go at some point, and then it's more money again. Whereas it works at the minute, we're better off keeping it as a spare, perhaps getting a new one, but nothing's ever guaranteed, so we'll take it off anyway and go and have a look at this Massey. If you're new to the channel and you've just clicked on this video because of this tractor, give you a little bit of background. Here at North Wyke we have somewhere in the region of 700 acres of ground, about 130, 140 suckler cows and all the followers, 500 sheep and also all their lambs, and then also a small area of arable ground as well. What do we have? 6 tractors, 4 John Deeres, 2 Masseys. We've got 2 6/620 John Deeres, a 5S.145R, which is in the shed over there, 6 130M, and then we have sort of the old equivalent of this, which is a 5455 have we got, and also a 6470. So Masseys aren't foreign to us. We've got a couple. We were offered this on demo by Rundle Co, which is a local dealer to us. So we thought we'd have a go. We'll have a look around the tractor. I've not driven it yet, it only turned up yesterday, and then we'll take it for a bit of a drive. Massey Ferguson 5S.145, 145 horsepower, 4-cylinder tractor. This one's got a dynamic, or what do they call it, dynamic cab? I don't know what they call it, but it's got the sunroof. Because it's got the loader brackets on. The back end, apparently these arms have been beefed up an awful lot from the old series, so you can lift an awful lot of weight. They say they have people with 5 furrow ploughs on these size tractors, so they're built strong. 3 spools, top link. This one's kitted up, it's got ABS on there, it's got the dual line braking, so if you want air. Yeah, it's just quite nicely laid out. There's a lot of room in under there. So if it gets like stuffed up with grass and stuff, you can get in there and wash it out. LED lights, awesome job, LED lights, love those. Every machine should come with LED lights. It's on the bigger tyres, so it's on 38-inch rim on the back and is it 28 on the front? Yeah, so it makes it look really tall. I don't know if that looks like the front wheels are too big for it, but that's what it's on. Obviously got the loader brackets on this one, so these tyres will be pumped up quite a lot. We probably should let some air out of them, but we haven't. No front axle suspension on this one. It does have cab suspension, but it just has the springs. so no air. Our 6470 had the air suspension, and we actually got rid of it because it was a pain in the backside. It kept going wrong, and we put springs on that one. So yeah, it's here for a couple of days. I'm going to take it for a drive in a minute because I've not actually driven it yet. We'll show you the cab. I might stick it on the wagon straw chopper. That would be the sort of job that this size of tractor would be doing for us, especially during the winter. And see how we get on with it. The first thing that Massey's love to do is put the key over there, don't they? So that's where the key is. Now this will be fairly familiar for anyone that drives a Massey. A lot of the switches are on this pillar, so all your lights are up here. These are PTO settings, so your electric switches for 540, 1000, whether you want eco or not. This is all to do with sort of draft control and linkage settings. Your hazard lights, and then down here you got road lights, your main beam, four-wheel drive, automatic four-wheel drive, diff lock, automatic diff lock. What do we got there? Fan speed or something? I don't know what that is. It says picture of a fan. Brake to neutral, which we have on the John Deere. That would be an auto steer button, and I guess that's for isobus, is it? ISB? Don't really know. 3 manual spools, and with the added benefit on this model now that you have an electric switch here for your pickup hitch to go in and out, so that doesn't take up a spool anymore, so you have 3 spools that are live to you all the time. You've got a lock there to lock them, so if you press them accidentally when you're on the road or something, they don't matter. Linkage up and down on the back, so same thing with all Massey Fergusons, you have to wake up your linkage over here, and then up and down on here to release the linkage. Pull the cable up to release the pin, and then let it down. These are your loader settings, so I guess that's suspension, that's, oh, is that lock, so you can't use your loader, and that's your locking pins. USBs, we've got data point in there, have we? How do I get into that one? Yeah, twin USB, that's always handy for charging stuff. The ever familiar T-bar, people recognise that from Massey's from way back in the day. They're sticking with that because it's what people know. But you do also have this joystick. I don't know whether the joystick's on this one just because the loader's on it. It's probably an optional extra, I would say, otherwise. But you can do your forward and reverse on it. You've got your third service for your loader, and you've got an F3 button which you can set to, I think, whatever you want. It's like a function button. It's got the little trigger on the back here, so I think you hold the trigger and press forward to get yourself going forwards for forward and reverse. But alternatively, you can use the paddle. Again, age-old Massey Ferguson thing. Stick to what you know. Right, let's fire her up. Yes. Right, she's doing her warm-up. What have we got up here whilst we're waiting? Still got the fridge, although it's a little bit smaller. Aircon, which is nice. Radio, is it Bluetooth? Who knows? Why tractors don't have a Bluetooth radio, I do not know. Right, we've done our warm-up, so that's good. Still got the manual handbrake. Nice big windows, lots of glass, really, really good visibility all the way around. I don't think the dashboard's changed too much. You've still got your little thing of buttons down here. You can set your forward and reverse speeds, so 3A we're in for forward and reverse. Fuel, AdBlue, oil temperature, oil level. How many hours has it done? I do not know. I wonder if we can go through the settings here. Aha, there we are, 8.1 hours. Brown spanking new. You love to see it. PTO speed, engine speed. Right, let's take it out for a bit of a spin. Right, we'll start you on the back window. So I reckon if I hold this button on the back, this trigger, press forward. Yeah, I'm in 3A now, so that'll be me off and away. And then this little plus button on the side here does my up and down shuttles, so 3A, B, C, D. It's a Dyna 4 gearbox, which again people on a Massey Ferguson will be very used to. Oh, I used the paddle then, I've probably confused it now. Very wide stance, the wheels are a long way out, whether that's just because the visibility is so good, I don't know. You can see it all, or whether it's just on wide wheel spacings. I'm going to try and stop confusing this thing and try and use this joystick because it's here to be used. Craig wants these trailers swapped over that he's painting, so we'll swap those over for him. We'll just put the handbrake on. Handbrake puts you in neutral. Good to know. Well, seeing as we're going to pick up this trailer, let's try this linkage then. So you wake it up on this one. Yeah, that's up. I probably need 2 hands for this, but you pull that one up a little bit more. Yeah, and then you pull your cable, the linkage down, and then on this one here, it should go out. But I can't see it. Jump in that window. Craig's been painting these trailers because they are rusted up inside. So now we'll let it down a bit. She's on. Well, I've done this again with the paddle, so we'll just continue with the paddle. Button forward. Here we are going forwards. We'll lift our linkage back up. Just down again a bit. We'll go and find the other trailer. Right, let's try and drive this thing in anger. So you can either use this plus button on the joystick there to go through the ranges, or you can use your T-bar. Now I just noticed there's a card in the cup holder here for Rundle Co, so that's who the tractor's from. For Chris, our salesman. Now we know Chris because he used to come in the yard for a different manufacturer when he was a salesman there. And I've been waiting my entire YouTube career for this moment. But in my pocket I have this little black wallet which has a card in with all the various forms of social media that I have, and a picture of a green tractor, which I'm sure he'll love. So I'm going to put that in with his card, and he can find it when he picks the tractor up. Now this joystick is slightly different to the ones that I would be used to in a Massey. So for anyone that doesn't know me, that hasn't watched the channel before, Abby, my fiance, her parents have Masseys, and they've got the new joystick in their tractors, which you just flick like this, go forwards and backwards, a bit like what you'd have in a Fendt. But I think because this is built for the loader controls are on it primarily over your other functions. But you can have the joystick with all the things you want. You can have your PTO, your linkage up and down, you can have your engine set speeds, so your A and your B. So you can do everything on them. If you want to see that, if you go onto my channel's homepage, I think the first video that's up there, that's there all the time, is of me having a go in their new Fergie with the new joystick. So it shows you all about it on there. Right, now we're not a trailer mover, let's take it on the road. The other thing I notice straight away is I've got the seat right back and I am sort of tucked up underneath the steering wheel. I know I'm probably abnormally tall. We'll just go up along the road to one of our gateways here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so 145 horsepower, Dyna 4 gearbox, so you got ranges 1, 2, 3 and 4 with A, B, C and D in each of them. There's 2 different modes you can have it in. So there's mode 1 whereby you need to hold the little red button on the side of the T-bar when you move it forward to change from, say, 3D to 4A. Or you can have it in mode 2, which I'm in now, whereby when you're in 3D you just keep pressing the forward range button and it will move from 3D to 4A on its own. So yeah, I can just go down all the gears on the button, which is quite nice, and then you can change forward and back without clutching. Very, very smooth transition. Forwards. See what this lock's like. Well, yeah, the wheels do go right underneath you. Spin round on yourself. Oh, that's forwards. Right, we're in 3D. One complaint about Massey's is the delay between ranges, so see if it's got it. It's a bit of a delay. Known it worse. Right, turning circle. Yes, incredibly tight, I must admit. Very good. Brake pedal goes down a long way. Don't quite know why that is. But there you are. Right, handbrake to neutral. The steering wheel does fold up out of the way nice. You can get in and out easy enough. Nice sunroof for the loader. Right, let's turn that one off. Right, so I've just brought the 5S down to where we mix up our wagon in the morning. I'm going to take big boots off the wagon, put this one on. We'll have a go with this on the wagon for tomorrow, and then Phil might take it over to the other fam, have a go on his wagon. I do like these headlights, very nice. Now, one thing I've just remembered is that the return on this back end here, so this is oil return, is the male fitting, and ours is also the male fitting on the machine, so we'll have to go and get one out of the workshop and put on there. We have got one. Other than that, the rest of it should just all bolt on, so the only other thing is this. I don't know where I'm going to put the control box, but we'll figure that out. The nice feature this one has is automatic battery isolation, so we can leave everything plugged in. You could leave everything plugged in and turned on if you wanted to. After a couple of minutes of the engine being off and the Arable pump driving everything back to the tank, the battery isolator will kick in on its own, so we shouldn't have any flat batteries. Because occasionally, if we forget to take the plugs out on big boots, it will drain the battery overnight if you leave everything plugged in. But yeah, so that should be good. We're going to try that out tomorrow. You'll have to tune into the next video to see it. I'm going to keep you on edge. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the little look around the tractor. I'm not going to say it's the best tractor in the world or the worst tractor in the world. I don't think there's a bad tractor made anymore. You think of the likes of the John Deere. We went and had the day out on the Kubota. We really like that. First impressions of this are really good. Tractors are now all much of the same. All the technology's there. You can pretty much have whatever you want in one. But yeah, I don't think there's a bad tractor out there now. We'll put this one on the wagon tomorrow, see how he goes. Let Phil have a go with it and whatever, and give you our feedback. But thank you very much for watching today's video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. As always, if you haven't already, then please do subscribe to the channel. Lots more farming content to come. We've got a load more demos coming in the next few weeks as well, especially after Christmas. There's a lot of cool stuff coming, so make sure you are subscribed. Stick around to see that. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys on another video very soon. Cheerio.
Josh has done the mistake of leaving his camera around again. Well, I'm sat in this new Massey demonstrator now. Don't know what it is. Can't remember the name of it. But it all looks very nice. No doubt I'll have a go at some point. Anyway, for more insightful machinery videos, tune in to Busy with Dr. Phil. Thank you very much.
Like a drug that